Becky, a young woman from a working class background, started her day like any other, just getting ready for another shift. But as she tried to cross Ring Road 2 near Airport Junction, a high-speeding car hit her. My friend and I happened to be close by and we sprinted over as soon as we saw her on the ground. Waiting for paramedics felt like it would take forever, so we made a split-second decision. We drive her to the hospital ourselves. The ride was intense, nerve-wracking honestly, but all we could think about was getting her there as quickly as possible. This is the road. Becky was crossing from this point to this point. The car was speeding down the road in this direction, and as it got closer to her, the driver didn't slow down. Instead, the car speed was maintained, seemingly expecting Becky to sprint out of the way at the last second. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. The car hit her before she could react. Becky's life wasn't cut short that day. Despite the severity of the crash, she survived. Nigeria has reported alarming statistics regarding road traffic crashes and death. According to FRSA, in 2023, 10,617 road traffic crashes occurred in Nigeria, with 5,081 people killed and 31,874 injured, with many involving people walking on the roads. Why is this number so high? What could be wrong? Is anyone even trying to reduce these traffic deaths? Just like Becky, I live in Abuja and I find myself trying to cross the road occasionally when I want to link up with friends, dodging speeding cars and hoping the drivers notice me and don't hit me. It's a nerve-wracking experience where every step feels like taking a risk. You could probably imagine the feeling, rushing to cross, waving through traffic, and just wishing that the driver will pay attention for a second. It is something Manasseh deals with every day as he tries navigating some of the roads in my city. Having lived there for years, he knows exactly the challenges we face crossing a road in a city where road safety often feels overlooked.
So as someone who lives and works in Abuja, I can personally say that crossing the roads here is no easy feat at all. Like on a daily basis, I find myself navigating very busy roads like those around Garki or Wuse or Jabi, where traffic is pretty much chaotic and pedestrian crossings are few and far between, right? So I've lost count of how many times I've had to wait for what feels like forever, 5, 10, 15 minutes sometimes, just to find the safe moment, the perfect time to cross. And even when I do find a crosswalk, I'm often left with this uneasy feeling like a car is coming, like they're not going to stop. And sometimes they actually zoom past you without a care. So I feel unsafe.
Ismi, who is also a road designer in Abuja, had a similar experience to Becky while trying to cross the street.
I had an experience, would I say a close-death experience. I think it happened on the 25th of March this year. So I was trying to cross the road and a driver came from nowhere and almost knocked me down. So I was actually, quite scared.
For many residents of Abuja and cities across Nigeria, navigating the streets has become a daily struggle, with constant anxiety surrounding road safety. As a driver, the stress never ends. You're always on edge, never knowing when another vehicle will suddenly slam on its brakes to pick up a passenger, and when a driver will cut you off without warning. There are some issues I've faced while working and driving in Nigeria, particularly concerning the conditions of the road. In many areas, the roads are in serious state of disrepair. Potholes are a constant challenge, often large enough to cause damage to vehicles if you're not careful. The lane markings are so faded in some places that they're almost impossible to see. This makes it hard to navigate and adding to the confusion, especially during heavy traffic or at night. But it's not just the potholes and markings. Uneven surfaces are another big problem. Roads that were once smooth have developed cracks, bumps, and holes over time, making for a bumpy and unpredictable ride. All these issues combined has made driving a real test of patience and unpredictable. It's even worse for people walking on the roads. It's a common sight to see cars trying to beat traffic, taking the walkways, leaving people already squeezed onto narrow sidewalk, no choice but to walk on the roads, just to avoid being hit by a vehicle. Some drivers often speed through traffic lights, making crossing the street risky. It's as if the rules of the roads don't apply to them. Even at zebra crossings, cars rarely slow down, putting people in harm's way. It's not just cars causing the chaos. Motorcycles, tricycles, popularly known as keke, and even cars sometimes drive the wrong way, just to avoid traffic or get ahead of it. This complete disregard for rules and safety has made the street both frustrating and dangerous for everyone. How long can we keep ignoring dangers on our street? Is the lack of road safety as a result of poor planning, or is it just the way we drive in Nigeria? Navigating a city where every street crossing is a high-stake gamble for your safety feels like living in constant fear and uncertainty. Abuja is a very beautiful city that blends modernity with nature. Built under the administration of Shehu Shagari beginning in 1979, it has a combination of suburban and traditional development patterns, depending on the area and district of the city. But my city is grappling with a significant problem: bad street designs. Our streets often prioritizes vehicles over people, creating dangerous conditions for those who walk or cycle. From my observations, this seems reflective of bad North American development practices that Nigeria might be adopting, where roadways are designed for speed and efficiency at the cost of people's safety. Just like Nigeria, traffic deaths in US is also so high. GHSA projected that 7,318 pedestrians were killed in traffic crashes in 2023. I want to know, what are the exact design flaws with roads in my city? Some of the roads in Abuja are designed for speed rather than safety. They are referred to as stroads. A stroad is a road-street hybrid. It combines the characteristics of both streets and roads, aiming to facilitate high-speed traffic, while also providing local access to shops and residences. However, the outcome often leaves pedestrians and cyclists vulnerable. Stroads like Airport Road and Aminu Kano Crescent are very common. I've always been fascinated by the activities of Aminu Kano Crescent. This place is one of the busiest streets in the city, surrounded by a variety of businesses that draw people from all over. If you walk along the side of the road, you'll find a lineup of banks like Wema Bank, First Trust Mortgage Bank, United Bank of Africa, and several others. These banks are always busy with customers, making this part of the road a major financial hub in the area. Then right across the opposite side of the street, there is Barnes Plaza. This is a popular spot for people who want to buy, repair, or exchange mobile devices like phones and laptops. The plaza has become a go-to destination for people needing to fix or upgrade their gadgets. With all these businesses, it's no surprise that Aminu Kano Crescent is constantly buzzing with activity. The area attracts a lot of customers, making it a lively and important commercial hub. The road is always packed, and cars move quickly, making it a bit of a nightmare for people driving by and people walking or crossing the road like me. Also, many roads and streets in Abuja lack adequate people infrastructure, like crossings, walkways, and bollards, making walking inconvenient and unsafe for residents. The bollards I see here at AB2 Ikiwe Street were installed by a private citizen to protect his property from kekes and cars. It starts from here and ends exactly where the fence ends. Roads like Ring Road 2, the one where Becky was hit, and Kado Galadima roads are perfect examples of roads without walkways, crossings, and bollards. You can see here in Ring Road 2 that there is no walkway, no zebra crossing, no bollards, poorly marked lanes, and uneven surfaces, making the roads unsafe for everyone using it. This road has high influx of people walking and cars moving at high speed, yet there is no adequate people infrastructure. Nanda Azikiwe Expressway faces similar challenges, where there is a high density of businesses and residential areas alongside fast traffic, making it neither an efficient road nor a safe street for local users. Just like many other cities in Nigeria, there are no dedicated bike lanes in Abuja roads, making roads unsafe for cyclists. This has made some cyclists always use walkways in some roads with walkways or just ride along the road. I use these roads all the time. These are the struggles I see happening here. Traffic crashes have been a frequent occurrence at this spot on Kado Galadima Road. This road was once equipped with LED street lights, but most of them have been damaged over time due to crashes. Additionally, people cross the road at this spot regularly, yet there are no designated crosswalks to ensure their safety. So what can be done? How can we reduce these traffic deaths and make travel easier and safer for everyone? To me, it is clear. We must redesign our streets to make them safer and more inclusive. The goal is to end traffic deaths by prioritizing the safety and needs of all users, particularly those on foot or bike. So how do we stop these traffic crashes and deaths? One solution I'll be looking into is based on an approach that focuses on identifying design flaws in road infrastructure, rather than blaming driver error for traffic crashes. By examining the actual road conditions and how they contribute to crashes, we can address the root causes and make safer, more efficient streets for everyone. Also, for Kado Galadima roads, which I use all the time, this is how I personally fix it. The road will have a wider walkway, clearly raised and marked crossings to slow down vehicles, and dedicated bike lanes. Redesigning stroads like Nanda Azikiwe Expressway and Aminu Kano Crescent will be good too. I want a community where families can stroll without fears of oncoming traffic. where children can ride their bikes, and where community ties are strengthened through shared public spaces. This vision is not just a dream. It is achievable through thoughtful people-first design and community engagement. To further understand how thoughtful design and community engagement can help create a safer, more connected street for families and children, I spoke with Edward, who has worked on several urban planning projects that are focused on making neighborhoods safer and more connected.
The best form of public engagement is to actually go out and do small actions. Make physical changes, put up a new sign, use cones or straw bales or paint to address those concerns. When we do those actions, we can step back and observe all of that real time, and we could photograph it, we could interview people, we can video how they use it, and really learn and critique that and adapt that till we get to something that we can say, okay, the temporary functions that we have now received all that public engagement on the ground real time. We can now make the next investment for permanent infrastructure.
But as with great endeavors, there are challenges ahead. First and foremost is a car-dependent urban layout which dominates Abuja. Our sprawling suburbs like Kwarimpa were designed with cars in mind, with streets that make walking and biking difficult. Shifting to a more people-focused approach means rethinking these spaces entirely. Retrofitting existing roads will take creative planning and community support, but it could make the city safer and more accessible for everyone. It's hard and overwhelming to change everything all at once, and that's also a top-down method that makes it hard for community to adapt later on. What we want to do is to work from bottom up, making incremental small changes. This creates an environment that can adapt, unlike our current structure. Also, some strolls in my city, such as Airport Road and Nnamdi Azikiwe Expressway, will be essentially challenging to redesign due to their size and the volume of traffic they carry. Figuring out how to slow things down without causing too much disruption is intimidating. And then there's the challenge of resistance to change. A lot of people in my city are used to car-centric lifestyle, so they might be reluctant to support ideas that restrict car access or disrupt their daily routines. But if you want to create a safer street and put an end to traffic deaths, change is essential. And it starts with open conversation about our streets and the kind of community we want for the future. Now that we've identified the problems and obstacles, let's explore the solutions. Implementing a people-first design in Abuja can take several forms. While looking for solutions, I came across an approach called Crash Analysis Studio that could help address traffic deaths. The Crash Analysis Studio takes a different angle by looking at traffic crashes through the lens of infrastructural flaws, not just driver error. This method involves communities in analyzing crashes to uncover design issues, especially for pedestrians and cyclist safety, and suggests practical designs. I spoke with Edwards about what it would take to implement a Crash Analysis Studio and how it can help reduce traffic deaths.
This approach is intended to be the lowest bar of entry, where citizens and technical staff and elected officials could begin immediately. It doesn't cost anything. It just is a matter of time and having an open mind for observation. So to start a Crash Analysis Studio, it's really just 2 or more people that want to improve a street and learn from a horrible tragedy on that local street.
Applying this in Abuja will be gathering local crash data, collaborating with community members and urban planners, and using the findings to advocate for safer, more people-centered streets. This way, we could create streets that don't just move cars, but also support the needs of people and the flow of city life. These strategies have helped other cities, and there are no reason it can't help my city too. After conducting a Crash Analysis Studio, we can implement recommendations through another exciting approach called tactical urbanism. It's all about testing new ideas through short-term and inexpensive projects. For example, setting up temporary bike lanes on busy streets lets us see how they impact traffic and people's safety in real time. Edward shared an insight on how tactical urbanism can be implemented.
The advantage of using things like technical urbanism is that it allows us to try things. We can try it, we can observe, we can change, we can modify. If it fails, we can remove it. If it's successful, we can repeat it. So the technical urbanism, just like in our 4-step process, we're going to respond to where people are struggling. We're going to test lots of ideas with the resources we have available. These are temporary things that if they work well, we'll make them permanent. If they're not good, we'll adjust them or remove it. And then we will repeat that process over and over again, observing and learning every time we do that.
A great example for this static urbanism will be in Wuse 2. This area has been highlighted in urban planning discussions for the potential to improve walkability and inclusivity. Bike lanes, people-only public spaces, and walkways can be installed in strolls like Aminu Kano Crescent in Wuse 2. This will help us experience the benefits of people-first design without the need for a major investment right away. Car-free days can be tried to also give my city a chance to experience the streets in a new way, helping people imagine a future that put people first. Adetokunbo Ademola Crescent, Wuse 2 is one place this can be tried. Closing these roads could promote local businesses and street life. Furthermore, installing bollards to protect walkways could make streets like Obafemi Awolowo Way much safer. This road has a lot of foot traffic alongside fast-moving cars, so added barriers will help keep people safe, especially around the airport junction in Jabi, where a lot of taxis use walkways to beat traffic. Other measures like speed bumps, narrower lanes, and elevated crosswalks could also help slow down vehicles and make roads safer for everyone. Adding dedicated bike lanes could really improve safety for both cyclists and pedestrians. It's encouraging that Federal Capital Territory Administration (FCTA) announced plans in 2023 to develop bike lanes in Abuja. We are just waiting to see it happen, but I'm a bit skeptical. Lastly, we should also focus on maintaining infrastructure we already have and making small targeted improvements. Instead of jumping into big costly projects, we can start with small improvements. These small changes might not seem like much, but they add up to make the city safer and easier to get around. Abuja streets are dominated by cars and often feels unsafe, and we need a transformation to make sure no one else loses their life to traffic. As we walk towards safer streets, it is important that each of us has a role to play. Real change starts with conversation and empower people to speak up about what they need and imagine a better future for their neighborhoods. The goal isn't to impose solutions, but to give us the tools and knowledge to make a difference. If you want to get connected with other people that are working towards creating safer streets, subscribe and join in the conversation. Share your thoughts in the comments. Let's speak up for the kind of streets we want to see in Abuja and everywhere. Together, we can shape a city that values other people over cars, a city that reflects the vibrant spirit of its residents. Abuja is growing, and we have a chance to get that growth. By focusing on the street design that put people first, we're investing not just in infrastructure, but in a community, safety, and future. Taking a page from Strong Tanks approach, we can start with small, meaningful changes. We don't have to wait for massive funding to make a difference. Every sidewalk we face, every crosswalk we add, every bike lane we create brings us closer to a safer, more welcoming city. This is my first time joining on the Strong Tanks conversation, and the mission to build physically resilient city, with people-centered communities being a significant part of that mission, really strikes the chord with what we need in Abuja. After going through the 5 campaigns of Strong Tanks, it became clear how important it is to push for safer, more productive streets that serves everyone, not just cars. I am Martin. Let's start asking the right questions. How can we make our streets safer? What small improvement can we push for in our neighborhoods? And how can we bring everyone into this effort? It's time to take control of our city's future and put people at the center. Together, we can build a safer Abuja for everyone.